All right, sup guys, welcome back to the channel, Too Easy Sports Betting. I'm Trice Too Easy. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you've been here, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment anything. It helps me and my channel a lot. And lastly, if you'd like to join my sports betting community, it's one of the best sports betting communities and discords that there are. It'll be in the pinned comment and the description of my video. Okay, so let's get right into it, guys. We're going to review yesterday, then we'll go over the NBA slate. I'll show you guys the player props, show you guys the parlays, show you guys my college football play, and I'm going to get you out of here with a bag. We're going to crack them again. Yesterday was pretty good. Here's the results. So this should say day 10 for the 50K, but 2-0 in college football. Basketball, Magic lost to the 76ers. Bulls lost to the Pacers. Nikola Vucevic decided to stop getting boards. So he didn't get his. Rudy Gobert hooked us at 11 boards, so he didn't get his. Ant did get his threes. Parlay number 1 missed, but parlay number 2, LeBron over 8.5, Zach LaVine over 22.5, and Walker Kessler boards hit at plus 484. So we had a nice positive night. We went 4 wins, 5 losses, but when you hit a parlay that's plus 484, you go positive for that night. So yesterday was pretty good all around. Basketball, weird again. Pacers won, 76ers won. It is what it is. I'm still happy with the bets. I don't feel bad about them. But yeah, PSA before I get into this video, guys, because a lot of you guys wanted my ass dead yesterday for saying the Lakers aren't bad. Guys, I just want to give advice to somebody who's done this for a very long time. There is no room for emotion in sports betting. The teams don't owe you nothing. The players don't owe you nothing. You just owe it to yourself to make good decisions and good bets. You got to keep emotion out of sports betting. The Lakers have cooked a lot of people's parlays and a lot of people's straights and a lot of people's spreads. The Lakers have ruined a lot of shit for people. And so it's very easy to get overly emotional and be like, they just fucking suck. When I say, hey, the Lakers aren't bad, all I mean is they not bad. I'm not saying that they're good. I'm saying they not bad. They just in the middle. They just dead mid-ass team. They are a mid-grade ass $5 bag of Reggie in 2010 team. They just a mid. They are as mid as it gets. They not bad. They not good. They mid. To think the Atlanta Hawks are going to blow out the Lakers, that's insane. There's nothing you've seen that will tell you that. Were the Hawks on a hot streak? Yes. So have the Lakers been at the beginning of the season. Then the Lakers cooled off. Hawks were hot for a few games. You guys at the end of it now getting on the Hawks board. That ship done sailed. They about to come back to ground. They both mid teams. They both got similar records. They both got similar stats on paper. They mid. Nothing wrong with just you gotta stay indifferent. You can't get overly in your feelings. That'll cause you to not take a Lakers spread of 6.5 versus the Hawks. That's insane. Or fade it at least, but don't just, oh, the Hawks are gonna win because they're so good, the Lakers are so bad. Just barrel the Hawks without any logic behind it. We gotta stay emotion free here, guys. We trying to make money, not get on these overly emotional rampages because teams and players keep cooking your bets. That shit's gonna happen in the sports betting thing. So just breathe, stay calm, and make a wise decision when you bet. Don't get overly zealous because motherfucking players and teams have looked like shit and are ruining your bets. Still gotta stay logical with this shit. Okay. Anyways, guys, let's do the player props first. I only got a couple today. This is Outlier, sponsor of my video. It's in the description. You guys check this out. You need it to be successful sports betting. Anyways, Brandon Miller over 22.5 points. Guys, over the season, if you look at last year, you'd be like, damn, he don't ever hit this. And if you look at it in this season, you're like, he barely even hitting this shit. But he doesn't hit it as much when LaMelo's in because LaMelo be tweaking up shots and he's one of the best offensive players in the league. So he's not going to get as many touches. But around the last 10-ish games when LaMelo have been struggling, you see last 20, he got some. And around the last 10, LaMelo's been dealing with injuries. You see he's hit this quite a bit at a 60% hit rate. LaMelo is not in today. They're versus the Cavs. This should be a shootout, very high-scoring game, and I expect Brandon Miller to tweak up a bunch of threes today. He should step up to the challenge today. This is a good spot for him. It's going to come down to how he shoots. Does he go 3 and 20 from the fucking field, or does he shoot 40% and kill this line? That's what it's going to come down to, guys. I think he shoots well today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes 35-40. So over 25.5. I like this play a lot. That's where I'll be. And the next one is Bam Adebayo. So this one might surprise people as well because it got his rebounds line at 11 and a rebounds line at 11.5. He's only hit it 25% of the time this season. He's only hit it 4 times out of 20 games. That's not good. However, if you take a look at who he's hit it versus, first things first, we know the Suns struggle versus good centers. They're just like and the teams where I like to take centers in spots. The teams who struggle versus good centers, the Pacers, the Wizards, the Pistons, these teams struggle versus good big centers who can get in there. And as you can tell, the teams Bam has actually hit this line versus the Wizards, who struggle versus good centers, 29th in the league. The Suns, who we know struggle versus centers, they're 23rd. The Pistons, who are weak and struggle versus good centers. The 76ers, who are weak and struggle versus good centers. And the Raptors. So he tends to hit this line versus teams who are going to let him get in there and get boards and don't do well. He also did pretty good versus the Mavs too. I think they was in here somewhere. Versus the Mavs, he got 11. So, I mean, and then versus the Hornets, he got 11. So versus teams who are weaker or more susceptible to letting the center get in there, he does well. This is a good spot for him. Durant's not in tonight. I expect a lot of thrown up shots from players that don't shoot well, and this should give Bam opportunities to get a lot of boards. So it's risky. He hasn't hit it a lot, but I love the price. You can get it at plus 125. Plus 120 on FanDuel, and I think this is a good spot for him, so I'm going to take a shot with it. We'll see what happens, but I like centers and spots, and this is a good spot for him versus a team that's not good versus the center, very susceptible to him getting boards or rebounds, okay? So let's just get into the slate and review each game, and guys, I'm going to be honest with you, one of the worst slates we've had all season. Every game is best team versus worst team, best team versus worst team, best team versus worst team. What that means is fade with a BO warning. This means blowout warning. I'm starting to identify these spots for you guys where it's very likely that there's blowouts so that your parlays and your props and shit don't get cooked, because a lot of times these blowout games fuck up your parlays. I mean, how many times has a blowout just ruined your parlay? So I'm going to try to start identifying these. Guys, today you got the Cavs and the Hornets. The Cavs are laying 13.5. Again, would not be surprised if they blow them out. If it's 20 plus lead in the fourth and the starters are getting pulled. So be careful with that. Then you have the Thunder and the Pelicans. Now listen, the Pelicans are healthy and they are starting to look good. And they did just beat the Suns by 2 last night without Kevin Durant. So I understand that, the Pelicans might be better now. However, the Thunder are still a top tier team, and one game is not enough for me to feel like the Pelicans are balling. Okay, so because of that, I'm gonna fade it with a blowout warning. Again, the Pelicans are healthy. We need to see more. We need to see more from them than beating the Suns without KD. Okay, we need to see more. So I'm gonna stay away from it. I'll fade it, and I'll give you a blowout warning for this one as well, guys. Okay. Next, you got the Nuggets and the Wizards. Once again, the Wizards, Nuggets are laying 14.5. Guys, I don't play these big spreads, so I'm not taking the Cavs at 13. I'm not taking the Nuggets at 14. I don't lay big spreads like that, and I don't tell people to. It's just too many points. There's too much I can go wrong. That said, player props and parlays, be careful. Blowout warning for this one. I mean, you can't pick I'm not going to lay 14.5 points. I'm not, and the reason why I'm not laying 7.5 with this Thunder and Pelicans game is it could be a blowout if the Pelicans do what they've been doing, but again, they're healthy now. I just haven't seen enough. They did beat the Suns. Okay, I understand that, but I'm not ready. I'm just not ready to start believe. I need to see more. I feel like it's basically like a whole new team, guys. Is what you have to understand. The Pelicans healthy now. It's like we don't know what to expect. They're a new team. A week ago, you would have been laying 15 points with the Suns versus the Pelicans. So, it's just too hard to cap right now. Nuggets and the Wizards, that's just a blowout warning. You can't bet it. Mavs and the Raptors. Mavs are fucking good, man. They are killing folks. So you got a shit team like the Raptors coming in at 7-16 for the year. It's another blowout warning. Like you can't, or you got to lay 8.5, which is a lot too. I don't like it. I don't know. I almost laid 8.5 in this Mavs Raptors game, but I'm being picky. I need to start making some fucking money with this shit. This season's been rough. And I just got to be more picky. The Mavs can win by 8.5. They can win by 7.5. It's not that I don't think they can win, but it's a pretty big spread. Raptors have had some moments of brilliance. I think the Mavs kill them, but I also worry about blowouts for parlays and props. So I'm going to stay away from it, and I also give you guys a blowout warning. Then you have the Pistons and the Knicks. I mean, look at this. Best team, worst team. 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 This slate's terrible. You got the Pistons and the Knicks, guys. Again, I would say just lay 9.5 with the Knicks. They're like the only team I have laid really big spreads with. That said though, after watching their last performance, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna just fade it, and I'm gonna give a blowout warning for this. If you want to lay 9.5 with the Knicks, I would lean there. If you want to lay 8.5 with the Mavs, I would lean there. I'd stay away from all the other games. I wouldn't touch the Cavs because the Hornets are capable of just shootouts and keeping games close. I'd stay away from the Cavs, stay away from the Thunder, stay away from the Nuggets. I would consider 8.5 with the Mavs, and I would consider 9.5 with the Knicks. Blowout warnings for all 5 of these games. Careful with your props. Careful with your parlays. Don't get cooked because the starters get pulled. That happens to so many people. The games that I am going to bet, Suns plus 6.5 versus the Heat. Now, you're getting plus 6.5 with the Suns because of the fact that Kevin Durant is injured. Again, that said, the Suns lost to the Pelicans by 2. The Pelicans are a much better, or the Suns lost to the Pelicans by 2. The Pelicans are a much better team than the Heat when they're healthy. A healthy Pelicans team is way better than the Heat is. And because of that, you're going to give me plus points to a team, because I think the Pelicans would kill the Heat if they played right now with the healthy team. The Pelicans blow the Heat out. At least they beat them pretty good. So now you have a Suns team who only lost to them by 2 yesterday without KD. Now you got Suns versus Heat, and you're giving me plus 6.5 points. This is one of my favorite plays, damn near of the year. So I'm on the Suns plus 6.5 versus a Heat team who I think is not impressive. Heat are 10-10 on the season. Do they maybe have a slight edge without KD? And possibly, but I also don't think the Heat are a good matchup to shut down Devin Booker. So I'm quite sure the Heat cover this spread. This is one of my favorite plays actually of the year. And again, like I said, Pelicans would beat the Heat right now. They crushed them, but the Suns only lost to the Pelicans by 2. That also leads me to make this decision of Suns plus 6.5. Then you have the Grizzlies and the Celtics, and we're finally getting a decent, fair line for the Celtics. Now, I was hesitant on this one because I'm being so picky, and the Grizzlies have been on a rampage, guys. These Grizzlies, they look good. But I do want to make a statement. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me or not, but I think the Grizzlies have the weakest schedule in basketball. I'm just being real, guys. If you like really look at who they've played recently. They played the Kings and won. They got beat by the Mavs. They're good. They beat the Pacers and won. They beat the Pelicans and won. They beat the Pistons, the Trailblazers, the Bulls, the 76ers. Lost to the Nuggets, beat the Nuggets, so they went 50-50 there. Lost to the Warriors. Lost to the Lakers, beat the Trailblazers, beat the Wizards, beat the Lakers, lost to the Nets, beat the 76ers. What I'm saying is the only good teams that they've played, truthfully, are the Mavs and the Warriors. And they lost those games. They got their asses whooped. They're the only good teams they play. Their schedule is just so easy. Magic, Bulls, Nets, a shit-struggling Bucks team, 76ers, Nets, Wizards, Pistons, Trailblazers, Pelicans. Like, I'm literally just screaming out the worst teams in the league. They haven't played anybody. If you think they're going to come in here, there is no reason to believe that they come in here and keep this game within 7 points. There's just no reason for that. The Celtics have a tough schedule, and they still got a 19-4 record and are getting 10, 20 points late a game. No shot. This is a great play today. I love the Celtics minus 6.5. So that's where I'm at. All right, guys. So what are my final plays? What did I lock? Let's actually get into it and talk about it and show you the parlays. So I'm on Brandon Miller over 25.5 points. I am wary of this because of the blowout warning. That said, if Brandon Miller's shooting the way I think he will today, I think he can kind of bridge that gap and keep it close enough to at least go 3.5 quarters. And if he does, I think he covers 25.5. Because I wouldn't be surprised if he's at 35-40. So if he plays full games, 25.5 to me, I see that by 2.5, 3 quarters. Okay. Suns plus 6.5. Bam Adebayo over 11.5 boards. Celtics minus 6.5. Then you got parlay, but I'm playing these as straights, guys. These are straights for me. So this is a straight. This is a to winning unit, to winning unit, to winning unit, winning unit. And this is a unit and a unit. Thunder minus 3.5, Mavs minus 3.5. So I'm just taking those big spreads and just reducing them and parlaying them. We've had a lot of success doing this. I'm kind of bundling the things that have been working and just kind of using them all. So Thunder minus 3.5, Mavs minus 3.5. Then I'm on the Cavs minus 8.5 and the Knicks minus 4.5 at plus 101. So just taking the spreads, drastically reducing them and parlaying them with another team that should blow their opponent out. Parlay number 1, I'm on Cat over 11.5 boards. Jacob Polotola over 10.5 boards. And Alexandre Sarr, plus 390. I'm on Brandon Miller over 4.5 threes, Jordan Poole over 21.5 points, and Cat over 11.5 boards. As you guys can see, I love Cat's boards today. Hopefully he comes through with 2 parlays get cooked. Then I'm on Brandon Miller over 5.5 threes, Brandon Miller over 27.5 points, Jordan Poole over 3.5 threes with Jordan Poole over 24.5 points at plus 1230. And for college football, I'm rocking with Clemson today at plus 120 on the money line and go blow them boys out. That's all I got for y'all today. Let's get out of here. Let's get a bag. Let's have a day. Let's have a weekend. Let's crack these folks.